But yes, to your point, I don't. I mean, I can get ESPN on my phone. I mean, I'll watch it, but it's a last. It's a last resort.
So you don't think like the activity of everyone gathering around for a Super Bowl party or like
I do. I think it's
dying, or do
no.
you think it's no?
I think. I mean, you all, you're consumers as well. I think there's still something to be said for the big screen and to just sit back and have a beer and just watch. But again, that conference I was at. Have you heard the term cord cutting? So a lot of people are talking about like people aren't going to buy cable television because, I mean, you're in college now. You don't have cable television, right? You watch television or you watch videos through the internet somehow, right? You have cable?
Yeah.
So some of you have cable. But the theory is that there's an entire generation who's coming up through college who doesn't pay for cable, and you've become accustomed, some of you, to watching video on tablets or through the internet or Hulu, or I don't know. My kids, I don't know how they do it, but they're pirating stuff left and right. One of them's watching any NFL game he wants. I don't know how he does it. He could be charging it to me. I don't know, but I don't think so. And so that an entire generation has become accustomed to that. So when you become part of the workforce and you graduate and now it's time to start paying bills, like why would you start paying $50 a month or $75 a month for cable television when you figure out a way to consume video? I mean, my youngest kid's in 8th grade and he probably watches more video on the internet through YouTube than he does on television. Like his idea of watching video is getting one of the laptops and watching his stuff on, when he wants it. But I don't, to answer your question, like ESPN, for all the different things that we're doing and all the different platforms and all the different media, make no mistake about it, it's a television company. And television drives it, and it's, Sports Center and it's live events. All the other stuff, it's fine and it's good and it makes money and we're trying, but everything revolves around sort of the big dog. And, live sporting events, there really is no substitute for it. Now, like YouTube, and they're going to, I think, start to try and get into live sporting events, but it might be Scranton against, Penn State Harrisburg, if you want to watch that. But one day, if they have enough money, they keep saying, I keep hearing, Google has more money than God. What if they start bidding on NBA rights? Anything else? Yes.
Do you find it odd to watch sports in your own, at your house, for instance, since you work with sports?
I don't even watch sports much. I'll watch games, but I know less about like the second baseman on the Pirates. I mean, at one point I knew every player. I knew every, like in the NBA, I used to pride myself. I not only knew every player, I knew every college every player went to. And it was just through osmosis. It was nothing I even studied. But now and it also as a result of being like an Outside the Lines, which is more issue-oriented than, it's sports, but it was more issues surrounding sports. So yeah. But I'll tell you, the culture at ESPN, it's amazing. Everybody from the secretaries to the producers to the, people collecting the trash, they're sports nuts, and they just go at it, and it's like the land of lost children. Like, I personally, don't quote me here, turn that thing off, but I don't get it. And so that's the culture. And that, I mean, people talk about a passion, and that translates to, I think, to the consumer, that because the people, make no mistake about it, the people who are producing that stuff are 100% into it. 100%. And they love it, live it, and breathe it. And I'm not saying I don't, because now I'm in a little bit of a different realm, but the people producing those shows just 100%. And that's why, it's an interesting culture because, like, I spent 19 years at CNN, and a couple of us got together. A colleague passed away, and we went to a memorial service, and we were kind of talking about, and a bunch of us all ended up at ESPN, and we were kind of talking about the different culture, what it's like, and it really is different. Like at CNN, it was kind of like more, work hard, play hard, and, part of it because we were younger, but the other thing is because we were living in cities. We were in Los Angeles or Atlanta. Now we're in Bristol, Connecticut, And so that lends to it also. Like, you could make an argument that the reason people are like that into television and sports in Bristol, Connecticut is because there's not really that much else to do, And in cities, there's diversity in thought, more diversity in people. Yeah.
I've heard for a while about the sports industry that it's much more about who you know as opposed to what you can do. And from hearing your backstory, it seems like that, not like to question your skills, but it seems like your connections paid huge dividends for you. Is that like, I guess, I don't want to ask if it's a true thing because I feel like it is, but can you speak to like how much that affects your career path? And if you don't know anyone, are you that much farther behind everyone else who knows someone in the industry already?
It can't hurt, but I'll try and be as modest as possible. I'm very good at what I do, and I've always been very good at what I did, partially because I was trained here. And so who you know will help you, but you know what it's like. You have friends, and you're going to recommend a friend to do something, but if your friend is shaky and you can't trust him, it's only going to help you so much. You're not going to like hook them up to do something if you're like, at the end of the day, somebody's going to be yelling at you, why'd you send Johnny here? Johnny's an idiot. You don't want to hear that. So you got to be able, the bottom line is you got to be good at what you do, and you got to be trustworthy and diligent and work hard and honest and truthful and all the other things that go along with like superheroes. And then if you know somebody, it's probably because you traveled in the same circles with people who have the same virtues as you. And so you're all going to sort of gravitate to each other. And if you're as good as you're supposed to be because of those virtues, you're all going to excel. I don't know if that answers your question. I mean, nobody got a job just because, it wouldn't last for long if they got a job just because of who they knew. They might get in there, but that's not going to last long. Conversely, if you're just really good at something and you don't know anybody, I think it will work out after a while. It just might take longer. But you got to work at it, and it's funny at ESPN, it's a big place, and there are a lot of people like you who are starting out, and the whole thing of like, hey, I'm at ESPN, it's a worldwide leader, and look at me, that wears off after about a year. And then it's suddenly like, I'm around a lot of the talented young people the same as me, and there aren't that many promotions, and, what am I doing here? So it's great because you're there and you have opportunities, and if you're good, you can navigate and move up. But it's really odd because, I've worked with younger people there who are really talented and really good, but they had to be pushed to sort of go out and meet people and make connections. And it sounds weird that you have to do that within the company, but that's really what it comes down to because it's so big and so vast. You can do a great job, but everybody's doing a great job. So now you got to get out and sort of make your work known. And look, I'm the last person who likes to grandstand or talk about themselves. Like, I really don't like it, but you have to find that happy medium of sort of, I don't want to use the term self-promotion, but you have to promote yourself.